Hi, guys. Welcome back to Finding Your Indie. I'm Bonnie Paulson.
And I'm Mandy Stevens.
And we are here again with another Monday marketing tips and tricks. We're going to continue on this week from our discussion from last week. So go check out the video from last week if you haven't had a chance. Last week was do you know, when do you need an ad manager? So we talked about that. This week, we're going to talk about what your ad manager should be doing and maybe what you should be doing with your ad manager as well. This is a question that I have people say, well, what exactly does an ad manager do? Do you start the ads? Yes. We do the things. I don't know about you. I prefer to do my own graphics because I know what I'm looking for. I do like when I get covers and cover art sent to me in good resolution. If I can get cover art without the font, I'm even happier.
Yeah.
Like really happy. But if I have to go out and find it, that's fine. I can do that too.
I
You
work
look
with a lot of fantasy authors, so a lot of times they already have like special artwork, which works perfect for the book.
yes,
I really,
exactly.
really, I'm like, yes, you have artwork. Or, I have some people who are using AI things,
Which is
which
great.
was like from their book because they wrote the book, so they know exactly, and it's working really well.
And it works great. Yeah. And then the book brush, I do like the book brush instant right now. That's actually helping a lot with testing. So that's been pretty good. Like for testing an audience to see if it's appropriate. That's if the books are packaged right. I can actually tell pretty quickly. I'm like, ooh, this isn't working and your blurb's not working. So we need to fix something here for this
Well,
audience.
usually you wouldn't have taken them on, so
Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, they can be packaged right and look right, but then you find out, oh, this is actually like, for instance, I have an urban fantasy client, and but when she started with me, it was I'm paranormal romance, and I was like, okay,
Mhm.
and they're packaged for paranormal romance, and then I was like, or they were, and then I was like, yeah, no, this isn't
Mhm.
working for paranormal romance. Your CTR is awful. Your read through is awful. Let's try this. And so when
Yeah.
they started to shift their packaging around to fit the urban fantasy, strictly urban fantasy, not even, I mean, just barely, like just now it's like, okay, this is working. So
Mhm.
that was really interesting. So your ad manager should be testing a lot, audiences, images, uh, gosh, verbiage. Like your blurb kind of sucks. I've actually had like AI rewrite blurb sometimes because I'm like, yeah, this blurb isn't doing it. So here, try this one. Do a version
Yeah.
of this.
I use AI to do headlines. They,
Yes. Oh my gosh,
for me.
yes. I am not that snappy. Like I can write copy, but I'll be like, hey, chat, I need 5 headline options from Facebook or 20 headline options for a Facebook ad. I need to be catchy, catchy. Here's the blurb. And then
Yep.
Chatty comes back with blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I said 5 words, not 35.
Yeah, right. I'm like, I said short. Or, I'll take some, like a little bit of this one and a little bit of this one and put them
Yes,
together.
and mash them together. Yeah. So it's nice to have that kind of a tool. And your ad manager, if you tell your ad manager that you don't want AI used on images, that's totally fine. I have some clients who are like, I don't want AI used. And I'm like, okay, just letting you know, I do use it to help me with creative copy because I'm pretty good with copy, but I'm not as good as I know that chat is or that an AI tool is. So like if you're not okay with that, you need to give me some stuff to use because that's usually if I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to come up with this one. Like my favorite I just did was like, I just said it as a joke and the author was like, oh my gosh, I love that. Let's use that for a headline. And I was like, oh, okay. It was a joke, but okay, let's do that. And it worked really good. It's been working really good. So I'm like, oh, look at me. I'm witty.
I have some clients who have given me everything, and
Yes.
I'm like, no, that's not going to work.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's
I run
okay
the
too.
ad, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly. And you should be able to trust your ad manager to know what is going to work and what's not. If you have an
Mhm.
ad manager who's making you do all of the work, I kind of have to ask, are they actually an ad manager at that point? Are they more of a consult? So an ad manager should be able to do your targeting. They should know what they're sending, like what message they're sending, what feel they're sending. Like and we've said this before in future videos, previous videos where, it's
Time travel. Yeah.
it's time travel. It's fine. But we have said in previous videos that the experience that you're giving in the ad should match the one on your landing page, which should match the book. So
Mhm.
whether you're writing audiobook or you're doing whatever, the feeling should be the same, period.
Yep.
And if it's not, and you're like, I can't figure out why my conversion, they're clicking on the ads, but then they get to my landing page and it's like, well, they're two different things. I mean, you
Yep.
can use reviews, you can use excerpts, you can do whatever, but the experience should be the same. So your ad manager should know that. And if your ad manager is like making you do all the things, and then I don't even know what an ad manager would do if someone was making all their ads. I don't know what they would do. What would they do? Like come in and fix your audience? Like that makes no sense either, because like what would they do? Tell you what you're doing wrong? Like
I don't know. Okay, so I know I have taken over for a lot of ad managers in the past.
oh,
I have
yeah.
had people like, oh, I haven't talked to my ad manager in 6 months. I'm like,
What the heck? You're just blowing money, dude. Like I've had
and
that
then
too.
like, oh, we were chasing rank. I'm $60,000 in the hole, dude.
Yeah, I've had two of those. Yep. I'm like, say what? I don't chase rank. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't
No.
chase rank either.
You can
I
tell
want to
me you
make you
want to,
money.
but I won't.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
The fact that usually talk to my clients a couple times a month and give an ad report, and they're like, no reports. I'm like,
They don't
what
want
are
the
they doing?
reports.
Then they don't.
You mean previous ad managers? I mean, not previous, but you mean other ad managers don't give reports like we do?
No.
Okay.
Interesting. I know.
That's very interesting. Go ahead.
And also a lot of ad managers don't run the ads through the author's account. They run it through their own account. And
Oh, dude, are you
and
serious?
then they have yeah. I was like, well, how do you know how things are working?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Are
I'm
you
like, they're
serious
just, and then they bill them. They bill them for how much the ad spend was, so they could. I'm like, how do you know anybody's even being truthful? You're just. But anyway, I took them over, and they're happy. So
Wow, that's insane. I mean, whatever, you do you, like,
yeah, you do you.
but what? Like,
Mhm.
first of all, as your ad manager, I mean, it behooves you. First of all, if it was in my ad account, I can't run pixels, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
can do different pixels for you, but that doesn't make sense. Why would you pay someone to create? I don't know. That just feels weird. Like, that just feels weird to me. Like,
Yeah,
fine, you do you
these
again,
were
like you said,
traffic
but
ads. They weren't conversion ads, but
yeah,
still, I'm like,
you're like, I could create
they wanted
audience.
control over absolutely everything, instead of,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I'm like, whoa, dude, we are way transparent over here.
We are way too transparent. I don't even see your bill for I mean, I don't see their bills for ads. I get the receipts because I'm of the position that we have as an editor or admin or whatever on accounts, not even admin. It's editor, I think, or ad manager, advertiser. I don't even know what Facebook calls us anymore, but I see the receipt. So I get receipts emailed to me like, oh, such and such, you got a receipt. I'm like, okay, I don't care. Like, I already know we're spending money. Thank you for emailing me. I don't need to have this.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's like, I don't like, they can see everything. It's their credit card, their PayPal account, their whatever they have set up. They shouldn't. That's weird to me. That's weird. I'm sorry. That's just weird.
I'll tell you who afterwards, but
okay. I'm like, you do you, but that's a little weird to me. Like, I don't know. But I think another thing too is, while we do have ads, people that we run ads for long periods of time, I think it's fair to say that it's okay. And we try really hard to empower people. I want people to feel like they have learned something with us.
Yeah.
We're not doing consulting, but I want you to feel like you've learned something.
Mhm.
So if something does get hard, or, maybe, I don't know, some kind of expenses come up and you're just like, I can't afford to do this. Well, you're not stuck. You can continue with what you're doing, have a little bit, get a bit of respect, and give us some time, and we will help you set up the rest of your account to move forward. If you're not, then I can't help you figure out what's working, what's not working, because we literally have a culling system. We have a tweaking system. We do all the things, right? Like a testing system, an optimization system. So if you just are like cutting us out, which we've had that happen where people have like just cut us out at the end, oh, we're done. Okay, that's fine. Okay, like that's fine.
I was going to help you move forward, but
yeah,
like I had a client who gave me a month's notice. I'm like, okay, well, let's set these up for you, and then
yes, because it's business. I don't want you to fail, but if you're going to treat me like a douche, like, to have some respect and a little bit of like personal integrity here, and I've had that too, where people are like, yeah, I'm not going to move forward with you next month, and then they cut me out, and it's like, Did you think I was going to go in and ruin your ads? Because here's what's going to actually happen. You're going to run those ads thinking that you can continue to run those ads and that you can, just let those ads run. And then maybe you can duplicate those ads. Well, I'm going to tell you right now that that's not how it works. Mike, we create our audiences based on the timing of the year, based on the timing of the season. And Facebook needs refreshing every couple months, at least every couple months. In fact, I think we even found that 4 weeks. See, and if you're not refreshing and tweaking, that doesn't mean you're duplicating the ad and just do it like that's it. You're not making any changes. It's duplicating and tweaking your audience. You are going to be making you're going to notice that your ROI is dropping. You're going to notice that, gosh, I can't figure out why my CPC is so high. I can't figure out why my CTR isn't low enough. I mean, you're going to notice things, or you're not, because you don't know what the crap you're doing. Right. And I like literally, like this is a thing. So when people like do that, I hate saying this because I'm not this type of person, but I'm also kind of like, I get a little bit petty and I'm like, good, fine. You want to cut me out like that? You are going to reap what you sow. Like, I know what's going to happen because I've seen it happen time and again. But if you want to give me like, hey, I'm not going to be able to move forward with you. Like, is there, what can we do? Let's set you up so that you can. And I'm going to give you a cheat sheet that's going to tell you the steps to do for the next 3 to 4 months. This is what you're going to do. And you're going to move forward like this. If you want to come back, we'll talk. But when you cut out like that, you're expecting your ad manager to not take you back. And I have a list of people I will not take back. And people who have come back to me and they're like, hey, is there any way you can come back? And I'm like, no, that's a hard pass, but thank you. But we digress. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I have a client, which I specifically took them on for 3 months to help them out. And then we're having a call with action steps.
See, perfect. Yeah. Perfect.
I mean, I want people to do well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's exactly right. Just don't treat us like douchebags, dude. So your ad manager, though, should be communicating with you. So let's get back on track. I'm like, sorry, you and I digress. It's hilarious. Ad managers should be communicating with you. It doesn't have to be daily. Like, don't expect them to be communicating with you daily. That's not fair. Ad managers usually have other clients. They know what they're doing. They've got a schedule, I'm hoping. But if they're not communicating with you weekly or biweekly or once a month, like whatever it is that you have set up, like some of my clients only want to hear from me once a month. Some are like, I don't want to hear from you unless there's a problem. Okay, that sounds good too. I can do that. And some people need a little bit more handholding, which is fine. When you're spending tens of thousands of dollars a month, you kind of need to know what's going on.
Yep.
That being said, make sure that's cleared out. And I always ask this, how much do you want to communicate? What is your best form of communication? Are we emailing? Are we messaging on Facebook? Are we Slacking? Like, what is your preferred? And I never text with clients. I'm like, I won't text with clients, but what is your preferred form of communication?
I like to email because,
then
I don't have this person anymore, but people would message me at like 10 o'clock at night. And I'm like, dude, I'm like literally laying in bed,
if you're not passed out already.
I prefer to email.
Yeah.
And I shoot people emails maybe once a week or, couple weeks. Just I'm like, okay, what's going on? What kind of releases do you have? Are you running any sales? Like I had a call with somebody. I'm like, okay, this is fourth quarter. Let's talk about what sales so we can keep things up and going. And she was like, yeah, call lasted 10 minutes. It was like super, but we had a plan, a game.
Yeah, exactly. Which is important. So we are a little bit more expensive than I think a lot of ad managers are. And I think that's because of our worth. This is my personal opinion. I think that we bring a lot of value to the table. So we don't just say, I'm only touching your ads, leave me alone. We actually are like, have you sent out a newsletter lately? Have you planned a promotion? I need a promotion for AMS ads to be picked up. Are you like, when's our next release? Have you released a box set lately? Like, like what do you have going on? And we're constantly like, we have our hands in everything. This is not a passive income stream. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's not passive. No. We are constantly working. I think I work more at this job than I have at any other job. And I love it. I absolutely adore what I do. I love my clients. I think it's super challenging, which I love, but it is hard. And so when you're like expecting people to email you every single day, message you every single day, it's like, that's not fair because that's...
Well, I mean, especially considering some of them will talk to you for 6 months. I think we're You know?
That's okay, right? But yeah, as author, I mean, as ad managers, we do things that are a little bit more than what other people do. We want we want to know what you're doing. And we'll even make marketing suggestions. I mean, in
Yeah.
fact, like that's why I was like, I feel really comfortable with us. We released Boss Mode, which was great. I mean, that first go around was awesome. The next go around is coming up. And I feel very comfortable with that because I'm like, hey, we also help with marketing a lot. And I've seen such success with my clients. And I know you have too with your clients, where we will make marketing suggestions, not just ads. We don't just manage ads, but we're like, hey, let's have a discussion on what you should do for releases, what you should do for a launch, what you should do for this collaboration, so on and so forth. And we have those discussions because advertising and marketing really are hand in hand. And when you have somebody who's a strategist like Mandy and I, you actually are benefiting from us saying, yeah, if we do this and we have this on the calendar, I'm going to start your ads a week before for this point, or I'm going to start this at this point, and here's the audience we're going to target for here because we have a strategy in place. But if you expect your ad manager to just run ads and make you money, you're kind of missing the point. Ads, for either from you doing them or for an ad manager doing them, ads are just one spoke in the entire wheel of your business. And you take out those spokes and you're like, oh, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. And you have like one thing, like everybody's like, oh, just write the next book. That's enough advertising, enough marketing. And it's like, nah, that's really not, you know. But let's say we had just ads pushing that tire and that on that wheel, and there's only ads, and you can't figure out why when it comes around, the wheel is not very stable. Because you only have one thing that you're saying, oh, this is going to float my business. Ads are not the only thing. Mm-hmm. Marketing is not the only thing. Writing the book is not the only thing. You know, like you can have the best craft in the world and your book just is not selling. It doesn't suck, but it's just not selling. And that is because you don't have all of the spokes in the wheel. So when we come in and we're at the ad managers, we're like, we're also going to help you with this because we want to see you succeed. We have invested in you. If Mandy and I take on someone, we do a little bit more than most ad managers do. We invest a little bit more personally.
I've literally helped people rewrite blurbs before.
Yeah.
I don't love to do that. Do not love to do that, but
yeah.
You know.
Well, and the spotlights that we do, I think we've shown that like when we do like an ad account audit, we're like, hey, look, we're not just looking at your ad account. Let's go look at the other things. Let's look at your book covers. Let's look at your brand. Let's look at, because it all plays together. And
because I can create a hella good ad that I know is going to get clicks
to a great audience.
The rest of it, to the right audience. But if the rest of it's not set up correctly, then it's just wasted money.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and your time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we do the spotlights, the author brand spotlights, when we do those, that's literally what we do before we even look at someone's ad account. We go in and we're like, what do we think about this? What do we think about this? I'm not going to take this on. And we actually have discussions. Hey, did you want to talk about the next person that just signed up? Are we ready to break onto the wait list? And we're like, I don't want to break onto the wait list, because usually the people that we've waitlisted are people who are going to be too much work. It's going to be too much marketing work, too much brand work, too much whatever. And it's like, I don't want to break onto that. So we have someone new come up onto our list and it's like, hey, let's talk about this. Are you interested in them? Did you see what they have? And we talk about their brand. Like, oh yeah, their books look really solid. I don't really want to get into sci-fi romance again. Like I actually like sci-fi romance. I do that from I have a lot of sci-fi romance clients, but Mandy might be like, I don't want to get into sci-fi.
Yeah. There's certain genres I'm just like, nah, I prefer,
Right. And we do. And so there are things that I like and that that she doesn't like. And there's things that she likes that I don't like. And we've actually been like, hey, maybe we should take on another ad manager because there are some genres that we just don't enjoy. And so, and that's personal preference. So, because I generally read some of my client stuff, I know you do too. So if I'm reading it, I'm getting a feel for how I can sell it. So, and because I'm also a reader and I really like my client's stuff, it's fine. It's totally neither here nor there. Ad managers don't necessarily have to read your stuff, but they do need to know the rules too. An ad manager should know the rules for what's going on Facebook. So if you're giving them stuff and they're like, yeah, I can put this up, and then you're not sure why your ads are getting rejected and they're not explaining it to you, or you're just getting a whole slew of rejections, or you have no idea what's happening because it's on a different account. I did not know that was a thing, but they have a different account. I feel like, how do you know for sure what's going on? Right? Like,
well, maybe I know a couple months ago, Facebook was rejecting everything, sweet ads, and
their bots.
I do have a couple spicy authors, but I was like, that ad, I specifically kept all spicy stuff out, besides
Right.
like cut, like I did things that like, or people who read that would know that
Hmm.
Facebook was rejecting. I was like, what the heck? But then they were rejecting sweet stuff too. So
Oh,
sometimes Facebook's just drunk.
Facebook was on crack. Yeah. They were drunk. They were on
Yeah.
crack. It was crazy. I specifically, I know I have sweet romance. Like that's what I write. And so I was running ads for that. And they were like, no, because matchmaker, no, you cannot bring people from Russia. I was like, what are you talking about? This is a Western romance. Like, shut up.
Yeah, I have
So
another sweet author that was getting stuff rejected. And I was like,
it's
but,
just,
and it wasn't even a matchmaker thing. I was like, what the heck? This is a picture of a cowboy and a horse and a woman. What are you doing?
I had picture of a cake and they were like, nope, this is false advertising. I was like, I didn't say you were going to get skinny reading the book. So I'm not sure how this is
Yeah.
false advertising. But yeah, as ad managers need to know the rules. They need to know the terms of service. Mandy and I know what words we can include. We know what
Mhm.
emojis and stuff. Right now, we're testing. We're constantly testing to see what we can and can't do, what kind of formatting, what kind of anything. They should know the best practices. They should know how to test. If you're like, yeah, I want to test my cover, they should know how to do that. I don't know, like we don't limit based on like countries, and so I don't know if other ad managers are doing in that regard, but we limit based on pen names. So we have like a limit of 3 pen names, and then we charge per platform. So I'm not sure what other people are doing, but I feel like if you're spending a good chunk of money, you kind of should be able to do things, right? Like you should be able to run ads and you should be able to
Right.
have
Well,
knowledge and transparency.
other ad managers charge per ad. Like they'll set up one ad set
Okay.
with so many ads.
Okay. I don't,
So we
some of
don't
my
do that.
clients would be broke if I did that.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
I've got like 5 pages for one client. That's 250 ads per page. So I don't know
Hmm.
what that is. I'm not going to math for that's a 1,500 or 1,250 ads. So if I was charging
Mhm.
per ad, maybe that's what
Yeah.
I need to do.
No.
Just kidding. I change ads too much too, though. So do you. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, this isn't working next.
Yeah.
We've got our hands and stuff. So I guess the most important thing is ad managers should be managing your ads, right? They should be managing that. You need to determine what the budget is. You need to determine what your release schedule is and what your promotion schedule is and what else you're doing. But you also need to determine, like, you need to figure out, is that ad manager for you? Are you getting reports? Do you know exactly what's going on and why? And we do, like I said, we do a little bit more than other ad managers, because we believe in, like, we kind
The
of
whole
partner.
business. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're partnered with them, to an extent. Like, I need you to succeed so that we can continue to fill your spot. Like, I don't, and not just from a personal level, I genuinely like want my clients to do well. And so I personally invest. And so when they start to, like, if we have fluctuations or whatever, I start to get sick to my stomach. I'm like, I hate this
Yeah.
market. This industry sucks.
Yeah.
Why isn't
Like,
everybody at home reading books? Let me tell you what books to read. Oh, wait, I already do that because I run ads. Like, you know what I mean? Like, go home.
like over the summer, we're like, quit vacationing.
Vacationing. You literally can save money and read books. Just
Yeah.
idiots. Read. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's very, it's like, so how invested is your ad manager in your success? And do they care? Like, are you just a spot to fill? Because sometimes I do feel like that. I feel like, okay, I have been with this client and I've been working with them and they don't care what I'm doing and they don't care if they're succeeding. And I kind of feel like that rubs off on me. So then I start to be like, I don't care. And that's when I'm like, okay, we need to have a discussion because I feel like you don't care of how we're doing, which is making me kind of blasé about this. So we need to see how we can twist this. Like, are you just not caring because you're doing well enough, or are you not caring because of something else? And
Mhm.
that's when you do need to talk about, your communication. Again, our
Yeah.
communication's up.
Like,
So
well, yeah, like once again, all comes back to communicating.
yeah,
So
exactly. So that's the most important thing. Are you communicating with your ad manager? Do you have clear expectations on what your ad manager is supposed to do? If you are, and that's from the beginning. Like, if you, and I will tell you, You are paying me a retainer. You are paying for your ads. This all happens in your ad account. This happens on your page. You will have access to all of your reports. They'll be in a drive. If you want, I will put your images in there. You can put your creatives in there. I will tell you if I want you to fix something. And I do. I usually send like a formatted stuff where I send it to my client. I'm like, I want you to fix your blurb. This isn't working for me. Fix your landing page. Go in and load this for me. And they do it because they're like, yeah, I just want this to do well. And so we work together to find that.
Well, we're very transparent. We have everything on the website as to how things, expectations. So
right, exactly. So go and check those out, but ask yourself, and we might not be the ad manager for you. You might want someone who's very
might not have a spot.
Yeah, right. We might not have a spot, but you need to, like, we're not for everybody. You might want someone who's more like, who is less hands-on. You might want someone who's less bossy in the space, right? Like, you don't want to be told to do marketing. Okay, you don't have to. But you need to be figuring out what's going to work for you and what's not going to work for you. And so that's kind of what we were hoping to do with this series. Do you need an ad manager? What is an ad manager's job? Essentially, an ads manager's job is to take whatever budget you set and spend that budget in a responsible way and get you a good ROI. And if they can't, then have a discussion why. Maybe they don't understand your audience. Maybe you don't understand your targeting. Something needs to happen so that that's working and it's cohesive. I hope that makes sense.
It does. We go back to ROI. Sometimes I'm like, people are like, oh, I want to make all this much. I'm like, well, you're going to have to spend more money because your ROI is fantastic. But if you want to get to 10,000 or you want to get to 20,000, you're going to have to spend more ad budget, so somebody should be communicating with you.
Yeah,
about
exactly.
That.
Yeah, exactly.
Expectations, being realistic.
I completely agree with that. I think there is a point, and then you should be able to, and they should be able to explain to you, hey, we can't do that. We can't run conversion ads to Amazon because that's, you just can't do that. So like, there's things that they should be able to explain to you. So when there's a security issue,
in certain times a year,
yeah, exactly.
You're just, fourth quarter is more difficult. It's going to be harder.
Yeah, exactly. And if there's a security issue, they should be able to tell you, this is what's going on. Like, there was an API readjustment in Facebook on the 29th of June. I had some friends reach out to me and they were like, hey, we're having this problem with our ad manager and we can't figure out why. And, our ads just stopped working for 3 weeks. And I was like, oh yeah, there was an API. Did you get this straightened out? Oh, I had no idea, like, okay, well, you should be, alerted to this. We do quarterly security updates. Make sure you guys are doing this. Make sure you're double checking for this. Has this happened to you? Please make note of it. And we have some videos where we're going to be talking about those types of things coming up. But these are things you guys need to be aware of if you're looking for an ad manager, or if you have an ad manager. What are your expectations clear? Are they realistic? And are their expectations clear and realistic? So, yes. Yeah. Do we have anything else to add to that? I don't think so.
No, I think we covered a lot.
Okay, we did. All right. Hit like and subscribe and hit comments if you have any questions, and we'll get back to you. And join our free Facebook group. It's down in the description link somewhere in there. You can find them. You'll be fine. You'll do great. Go find them. You'll do great. Boss Mode's coming up. So if you are interested in getting a whole quarter's worth of marketing and advertising scheduled and planned in less than 2 weeks, then go sign up. And I think it opens November 1st. So, all right, guys, we will see you next time. Thank you.